her daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play. Option Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
There he is, straight from the Tundra. Straight from the Tundra.
We got a real weird cop show vibe going on this morning.
Oh my goodness. This is the barbell theory. One of us is dressed.
My fault. My glasses are getting fogged up.
One of us is dressed for the dance hall, and one of us is dressed for an extended elk hunt in Siberia.
It's like, what happens? Wait,
is that the same hat? Is that like a twofer?
Oh yeah, this flips in and out, baby. And it's
wow.
I don't want you to think this is like cheap. This is 100% like thick wool, that real uncomfortable wool.
Yeah,
that your grandpa buys you.
Yes.
So listen, I'm excited to be here. This would be like a cop show where like a really, really like seasoned Matt's Miami look detective gets called up to like rural Alabama.
Yes.
And a local sheriff. It's basically Twin Peaks.
Yes. There it is.
It's a different version of Twin Peaks.
There it is.
So
Troy, how the heck are you?
Well,
I mean, except for a blip, I feel like I've barely talked to you on the show here for a couple days. We've been going different places.
Obviously, we, talk late into the night every night from a friendship perspective. I really lost my cigar. Hold on, let me just get on. Lot going on today. There it is down there. All right. A lot of friendship talks, but no, we haven't seen each other on the show in quite a bit.
Professionally, as it was.
We were very excited to be on with Dan yesterday. Dan had a thing this morning he had to get to, but I was very excited to talk yesterday, and then half of the world lost internet.
Yeah, AWS had a thing, as it was. I was talking to somebody about this, like, go ahead. You were about to say something important, I feel.
I was just going to say, if both Amazon and Google Cloud went down at the same time,
yeah,
America's cooked.
Not just America. A lot of the world is cooked.
Well, yeah, but China's got its own
fallback to the fallback. Maybe
they got
who knows?
They got the firewall.
Who knows?
They've got the big firewall.
Yeah, is AWS East back online, I guess, today. And listen, are these large outages happening at a different occurrence than they used to, or are people just more reliant on them? I don't know. That's a question.
I think the answer is both. I think everybody relies on them, and I think without a doubt, and I don't care what anybody says, China hacked us. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there.
I feel like, can I just cook for just a second?
Go ahead and cook for a second here.
So, not to get overly political. So, when I say that, I'm about to get political, or reference. I'm not getting political. I'm just going to reference politics. But on the subject of hacking, there was a lot of discussion 10 years ago now in 2016 about did foreign countries try to hack the American election? Did they try to influence the American election? And to that, I respond, what world do you think you're living in? Maybe I'm either naive or too nihilistic or too pessimistic, but I think these countries are doing that to each other all the time and have been for decades. And it's not exactly a secret that foreign interference in the election has gone on since the dawn of time. So, yes, obviously, countries are constantly doing this. I saw there was something in the news um, about a U.S. hack on China the other day. Just yesterday, it came across the news, and I thought, why is this news? Isn't this literally people? Troy, is this not people's jobs? Is it not their jobs? I don't know. I'm not elite hacker. I'm just asking.
Well, publicly, of course, yeah.
Or privately.
Yeah, you're not Matt's not an elite hacker. Okay.
Definitely not.
But I will say also that if you read the history of like Latin America in like the 20s to 60s, I mean, America's just propping up governments.
That's crazy.
Common knowledge.
You can go back to ancient Jewish scriptures and read about how these countries are interfering and subverting. And so this is not new. This is not new, is it? So that said, AWS was down. Now it's back.
Real quick, a quick poll in the chat. Shout out chat.
Yeah, I'm with you, Charles. I'm with you.
Listen, is Matt A, underdressed, or B, overdressed for his Costco interview at 10 a.m.? I'll let you guys be the judge. I'll let you guys be the judge.
I went to Costco Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Who is dumb enough to brave Costco? Myself and my child. And we did emerge with a hot dog and a Diet Coke, which was half Diet Coke, half Coke Zero, tons of ice because you can get free refills. And since they've changed to Diet Coke, it's just my reasons not to stop in Costco when I go by are they're just elevating. I am dressed up today. I have a meeting after this. And yes, I'm really dressed up for the show. I haven't put in my in-ears. This is riveting content. This is going to help us with the algorithm.
Weirdly,
chat loves it.
Yeah, weirdly, I too am dressed for a meeting after this too, of a different kind. But
yeah, in the Tundra on a hunt.
I've got to do a little favor for someone. Anyway,
reminds me of that Bruce Springsteen song. Well, Atlantic City.
I hope you
soon to be featured in a new Bruce Springsteen movie.
I don't like Bruce Springsteen. I'm just to be honest, and here's why. Bob Dylan's the original Bruce Springsteen. So people are like, "Ooh, the boss." Bob Dylan was doing Bruce Springsteen before Bruce Springsteen was. But that's a great song. Atlantic City is a great song.
I am just gonna say, listen. This show is a couple things. It's an NBA show disguised as a financial entertainment, edutainment show. It's also a music show, and I listen to a lot of independent music that you guys have never heard of. So if I tell you these bands, you'll be like, who are these people? They have 2 listeners on Spotify, and I'm one of them. But I listen to, I grew up on Simon and Garfunkel. My dad had several Simon and Garfunkel records. We had a couple Beatles records. And so I know the popular stuff a little bit. And Bruce Springsteen had a much higher hit ratio than Bob Dylan is, and it's not even close. And I'm willing to go to the bat on that. And both of them dramatically trail Paul Simon. So that's Nebraska. There's a movie coming up about Bruce Springsteen making Nebraska. And he basically went in a hotel room with a guitar and like a tape recorder, like a 4-track tape recorder, and did this album. And it's the only Bruce Springsteen album that I love. And I do love it. So I'm going to go see that movie. Anyway, if you're listen, we're going to have we'll have a music review, maybe like Christmas Eve. We'll do like a music review show or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, literally 14 years before Nebraska came out, Bob Dylan sat in a hotel and wrote Blonde on Blonde, one of the greatest albums of all time. It happens, is what I'm saying. Anyway,
yes.
I'm going to Alabama tonight to stay in a hotel. And I probably too will be able to write a hit album. I mean, that's just kind of
take a 4-track and a guitar and a glockenspiel.
4-track, Best Western acoustic.
There it is. There it is.
Listen, real quick, because we're gonna just today's an intro show. Tomorrow's gonna be Matt's not gonna be here tomorrow, but Thursday's gonna be wild because we're all 3 gonna get here.
Thursday's gonna be a big day.
Because here's the thing, Matt, while I was in Chicago last week with Dan,
Yeah.
we were doing a bunch of cool stuff that we're going to share some of that, hopefully soon.
Okay.
Or maybe never. It'll be fun. We got on a little
Okay.
bit on the wild side, and it was fun.
Okay.
And while we were in Chicago, we were talking to some people who trade options a lot, all day, one could say.
Okay.
And there was a big thing that happened with people selling put spreads. Now, Matt, give us the lowdown on what happened for those who are out of town.
Well, I was out of town as well.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
But I can, I got messaged Tuesday. I was in the car, and to my shame, I handled it poorly. I got messaged, and I saw somebody asking, and I read it quickly, which was, I should have taken down it. And they asked about slippage. And I was like, yeah, I've seen slippage before. And I did not fully understand the context of the slippage that they were referencing. And as the day went on, it became apparent that there was a move. This was Tuesday afternoon. And, it wasn't a huge move in delta, but it was a huge move in gamma. And bid spreads bid ask, this is on SPX, got super wide, and some stop orders triggered. It sounds like a lot of stop orders. This wasn't one platform. This wasn't one broker. This was the market. This was the SIBO auction. And it was ugly, Troy. It was ugly. The chat said, was it Volmageddon too?
It was Volmageddon. So here we go.
I don't know.
Listen, I bet it felt like Volmageddon too for those on the other side of it. I was trading during Volmageddon. Volmageddon lasted not much longer, but it lasted a little bit longer than 20 seconds. Because my understanding, Matt, is they did not bust any of these trades. And their reasoning was markets fluctuated around those points for 20 seconds, which is a valid market. Is that true?
Yeah, I think it was like there were 2 minutes of kind of very spicy fills.
And I've heard stories of people losing thousands of dollars per contract.
Yeah. Not good. And I think, Troy, are we going to talk about this more later in the week when we have an expert or somebody who maybe could shine some light on this?
We will.
A former market maker, perhaps.
Yeah.
So this is a warm up, maybe a little bit. We'll probably get more opinion than just me and Troy kicking it around.
Well, I've never been afraid to give my opinion about things I don't know, and I consider myself an expert in that. So
that's right.
Listen, that's right. I mean, if you're going to go into Costco, for an interview, you got to have a little confidence.
That's right.
So 150 point out of the money puts went to $100.
That is,
and SIBO, SIBO didn't bust it, and it really is heartbreaking because someone who's trying to test and trying to plan ahead. One of the reasons you sell put spread. Shout out,
everybody who sells put spreads.
Put spread, yeah, basically.
Shout out to put spreads.
Shout out to put spreads. Also, almost everybody who trades options. They like when you have that happen, you are not accounting for that. I think we're all in agreement with that. Like, you look at a win rate, you look at your max loss, you do the math.
Yeah.
Selling put spreads are math.
Yes.
And you do not account for those type of fills.
Yeah.
And so I have thoughts on it.
So do I.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts, Matt. But let's talk about your thoughts real quick, and then I want to look at a test real quick, just to have a little idea. Of something we might think about this week. So
I want to say this: if you're selling water in the desert, and you're the desert water guy, and people are coming through the desert and they want to buy water, you can charge a price. If you charge too high, and maybe this is a poor analogy, shout out to Glenn. Glenn, let me just disclaimer this talk with your comment and apply this to myself. If there's one thing I know, it's nothing. Back to the analogy. If you're a guy selling water in the desert and you take advantage of the situation, for instance, or you have an opportunity to sell the water for a lot more than it should be, eventually will you run out of customers because nobody can afford the water? That's kind of the scenario that runs through my head. An imperfect analogy, I'm sure. But as the saying goes, if there's one thing I know, it's nothing. And so that's my thought, Troy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a hard thing because
yes,
I will never defend an institution as a general. I'm pretty anarchist in that way. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, I think
that's why you're wearing a ski mask today.
Yeah, I think they've got a good heart down at the trading floor. Like, I'm not saying that, but I will just offer like an idea of what could have happened, not for this specific case, but a hypothetical what could have happened. So, is it true, Matt, that I wasn't watching it that day? Did we drop?
I wasn't watching it either.
Okay, I think what they're saying is we dropped like 30.
Yeah. It was like a 30-point candle within a minute on a tweet.
On a tweet, right?
Yeah.
So a 30-point candle on a tweet. Your bid asks instantly widen.
Yes.
Instantly widen.
Yes.
They are
very far out of the money. Widened 100, 150, 200 points away. They widened.
Yes. And I'm not going to defend any institution, but I will just say this. What happened? What would you want them to do if it was actually a really, really bad tweet?
Listen, I don't have an answer to that. I will say this. I did a solo show. Shout out to the chat. I think it was it was Thursday.
Is that why I kept getting emails about you suck, let Matt do it alone from now on?
No.
I didn't know what they're talking
you
about.
got the emails of please come back. Here's what I posited on the show. So this is just my thought on it. Again, what do I know? We've had a lot of spicy intraday moves. This was like an intra-minute, like 1 minute, 2 minute move. And not the highest spice level, but spicy. We've had a lot of those moves in the past 2-3 years. Okay. How many of those events that triggered those are going to make the history books, Troy? How many of those moves can you remember? Like the only thing that I can remember 2 events since daily. I can remember 3 moves since daily, 2 moves since dailies. One, I'm just going to say Liberation Day. And that wasn't a move. That was just a time period. And the second one I will say is I remember one of the moves after FOMC, which is totally explainable because it was FOMC. It was not a minute. It was a couple hours. And the reason I remember it is not because the move is because you and I were together during that. We were talking about it. My point is this. If something actually happens that makes the history books and happens during the market, what will that do to people's positions? And that, I think, not to be fearful, but it's just something I've been thinking about. And with automation, I have the opportunity to buy if I want to buy a $20 put every day, I can buy one of those at the beginning and just say, this is an extra $20 worth of drag every day on my portfolio. Or if I want to,
you mean like a 20-cent put?
Yeah. 20-cent put. Yeah. 20 cent.
Just buy a $20 put every day.
$20. Yeah. Not a $2,000 put every day. Oh, you could back test that. So yeah, I've just been thinking about this Volmageddon, Mini-geddon. Should we call it Mini-geddon? Because we have the opportunity to name this. Do you guys chat? Do you like the name Mini-geddon? Do you like Volmageddon?
I'm going to go ahead. Listen, I love you, chat. I'm going to go ahead and name this for you. Let me go ahead and do this. This was Stopageddon.
That's it. That's it. Okay, Stopageddon. That's right. Let's trademark this. Let's put it in the. I've got to get how to spell Mageddon, and I'm gonna Stopageddon.
Because if you didn't have stops, if you didn't have stops and you didn't have Discord, you didn't even know this happened.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's the reality. It wasn't a market move in the sense of like, I mean, we recovered like the next candle, like to half the price.
Well, I had a trade that got that actually did get stopped out. Now that I'm thinking about it, but it was a butterfly, and it wasn't even as it wasn't, I didn't even know that it happened based on my, I looked at the train. I was like, oh, I got stopped. There was no, because I think I was doing a stop on a whole spread. And so there wasn't one leg that went nuts. And I also, I was not doing so I wasn't doing a market order. And I was also doing like I had a butterfly that was up higher and the market moved down and closed the fly. It was like, I didn't even know. So to the point, yeah, I think particularly the vehicle was people doing resting stop market orders. So we're going to talk about this more. Troy, do you have a back test though? Does this inspire any back tests?
Well, I've got one from our friend Mark Anderson.
Oh, Mark Anderson. He's been on the show before. Do you have one that's been on the show? Troy, you read my mind.
Well, Matt,
you read my mind.
It helps when we talk before the show.
Is this because I sent this to you yesterday?
Yes, that's correct. I would go ahead and say that's because you did it. Okay. So, Matt, what are we looking at?
Yeah, this is what folks would call a ride or die. And it's this is a corkscrew. Let me just quick pause. I'm eccentric, which is why I'm talking about a corkscrew. I play with things with my hands, and this is like a fidget toy for me. So that's why I play with it. I actually play with it every day. Usually just doesn't make it on camera. We'll edit this part out. Back to the test. The test is a ride or die. It's a 10 wide 40 delta iron condor. So it doesn't have a stop loss. It does have a timed exit, and it has a profit target. It has a profit target of 50%. It's got 2 hits. It's got some slippage. It's got cap profits. And the real limiter though, it's got 2 things. You want to make sure VIX is in a somewhat not a crazy VIX environment, 21 VIX max, and make sure you're also getting enough juice for the squeeze. So the min premium 4. So basically that's like a min vol rail and a max vol rail. And it's 2 different ways of doing it, but that's essentially what it is. So there's no stop order here. You can still lose a lot, most of the value of the spread, but it does win historically most of the time.
And to show this off, I mean, this is again just an idea of saying there's ways to trade 0 days without stops. Here's what we're going to have to get into later in the week. I was talking to a friend that I trust who sells 0 day spreads with stops. And I asked him, I said, and I trust the guy. I mean, he trades for a living. So it's not some just researcher. It's a guy who trades for the living. And he said, it's just not viable. The sizing mechanism, you have to use stops to be able to size enough to make enough to live if you're going to do 0 day.
Really?
And
okay.
That was his thought.
Okay.
And he's a smart guy, a smart cookie. And so I can't speak to it because that's not my style. But if that's your style, I get it. And so what this is about is just trying to think through, like, what would this look like to be able to trade something without a stop in a similar fashion. It's just an exercise in thinking through it.
Well, and there's plenty of things you could do to this. Spread with, play around with it. I mean, that's the easiest thing that just jumps out. But also the deltas you can play around with as well. And if you want to make an even, I would argue, I mean, I think this is a robust back test, but another variation would be to do different time and maybe a little bit wider. Speaking of butterflies, are there folks who, like, when we talk about the structure of a trade, condor versus a butterfly, there are people that just buy a butterfly, like an at the money butterfly at a certain point of the day, which is a different, technically it's a different structure than an iron condor because of where the shorts are, but it's a similar philosophy in that you're only betting on a certain amount of movement, right? It's just doing it kind of in a debit style versus a credit style. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly right. I think the thing is the theta is the main part of this whole
right.
process. Like
yes, our friend, Mr. Theta.
You're trying to collect theta. And so you're trying to get as much theta as possible without getting bit by gamma. That's more or less or deltas in this case. But and that's always the name of the game. But I just think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to think through ways to trade without stops. I'm not going to ever really say stops are a bad idea. Again, there's just too many people that are smarter than me that use them. Mark Anderson uses them. So, I mean, I don't, it's never my style. I mean, but who cares about my style? We all have different styles we have to figure out, and, but the stop thing is it's a painful.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it more. I think it sounds like.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it, but I don't want to beat a dead horse. I will say, I know there's a kind of emotional thing of like, all right, I lost a bunch of money 3 weeks ago and we're still talking about it every day.
Yeah. We're not going to talk when we haven't talked. This is the first time I think we've talked about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Also, I want to talk about the Bulls game. I want to talk about Squid Ink. There's so much to talk about. And me and Dan will probably review some of that tomorrow.
Okay.
And go from there. But Matt, I know you've got an interview. Are you going to?
I have a school function, guys. That's what I'm dressed up for.
Okay.
Not that exciting.
Me and my friends were talking. We really are going to try to, when you're a teenager and you're just making fun of someone, you're like, okay,
yeah,
we're going to really try to bring that back at least once a conversation.
Oh, I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things.
Oh, we got an expert on mocking people over here. Oh, we got an expert.
Oh yeah. Okay. I love it. And it's probably one of the best things I could say when I was a teenager compared to other things I said as a teenager. So anyway, shout out teenagers.
Your mom.
Have a great day, everybody.
All right, guys. We'll see you back tomorrow. More extended show on Thursday.
Extended show on Thursday. Will be back
tomorrow. The chat is going crazy. You guys they're building trades, I think.
Yeah.
Trade structures.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna just say it.
Things.
I'm gonna just say it. I want to have a world where we're doing this a lot during the market hours. So stay tuned for that.
Doing this a lot.
Imagine a world where the OO show is extended into the day.
Oh my goodness.
Have a good day, everybody.